Hello everyone, welcome to NeoClass Academy. Friends, if you are preparing UP TGT PGT or other examination belonging to English literature, then you are at the right place. Friends, today we are going to learn Tintern Abbey composed by William Wordsworth. Friends, you have to only like this video and subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon to get more updates to boost your exam preparation. Now let's start. Turn away. Full title and date. The official title is Lines composed a few miles above Tintern Abbey on revisiting the bank of Wye during a tour July 13, 1798. You have to learn this title. Lines composed a few miles above Tintern Abbey on revisiting the bank of the Wye during a tour July 13, 1798. The date is significant as it marks the eve of the anniversary of the French Revolution starts. It was found by Walter de Clare on 9 May 1131. Next, publication. The date of publication. It was first published as the concluding poem in the seminal 1798 edition of Lyrical Ballad, very famous, very important. This poem is published in Lyrical Ballad 1798 edition. A collaborative work by Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge. The Lyrical Ballad is a collaborating work of William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge. Next, poetic form. Poetic form of Tintern Abbey. The poem is written in blank verse. This poem is written in blank verse. Tintern Abbey poem is written in blank verse, unrhymed iambic pentameter. Very important. Blank verse, unrhymed pentameter. It has 14 stanza. Very important. You have to learn this. It has 14 stanza in 161 lines. 14th stanza, 161 lines, which allows for a fluid conversational tone. Conversational tone that approximates a natural speech while maintaining a rhythmic structure. Its themes is reflective. Its theme is reflective. Next, literary genre. What is the genre of this poem? Critically defined by M.H. Abrams. M.H. Abrams as the prototypical greater romantic lyric. It is also categorized as a conversation poem. It is characterized as a conversation poem. Very important. Next, the silent auditor. The poem is addressed to a silent listener, Wordsworth's sister Dorothy Wordsworth, whom he calls my dearest friend and sister. Next, composition method. Wordsworth composed the poem entirely in his mind during a 2 to 5 day walking tour from Tintern to Bristol, not writing a single line down until he reached the city. Very important. Wordsworth composed the poem entirely in his mind during a 4 to 5 day walking tour. Try to understand. From Tintern to Bristol. Tintern to Bristol. Not writing a single line down until he reached the city. Next, the 5 year interval. The opening lines: 5 years have passed, 5 summers with the length of 5 long winters, establish the timeline between his first visit 1793 and this return 1798. Next, emotion recollected in tranquility. The poem serves as primary example of Wordsworth's theory of poetry. The spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings. Poetry is the spontaneous. Poetry, according to William Wordsworth, poetry is the spontaneous overflow of powerful feeling. On the basis of this definition, the spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, subsequently recollected in tranquility. Next, the three stages of nature. In this poem, the poet described about the three stages of nature. Stage first, Wordsworth describes his boyhood. Wordsworth describes his boyhood in first stage. Relationship, boyhood relationship with nature. First stage, Wordsworth describes his boyhood. First stage, boyhood relationship with nature as one of glad animal moments. First stage, glad animal moments. Boyhood relationship with nature as one of glad animal moment. An unreflective primal and physical interaction. नेक्स्ट है द थ्री स्टेज ऑफ नेचर। इस टाइटल में जो स्टेज नंबर सेकंड है, हिज यूथफुल विजिट। द थ्री स्टेज ऑफ नेचर इन दिस पोएम, द थ्री स्टेज ऑफ नेचर। स्टेज टू, हिज यूथफुल विजिट 1793 was characterized by etching joys and dizzy raptures, where nature was a sensory appetite and a feeling and a love that required no intellectual charm. The characteristic of second stage, you have to learn these things. His youthful visit 1793 was characterized by etching joys, very important, etching joys, dizzy raptures, where nature was a sensory appetite and a feeling and a love that required no intellectual charm. Next, the three stages of nature. Stage number three, his mature state. Stage number three is his mature state. 1798 is philosophical. He has learned to hear the still sad music of humanity. Very important. The still sad music of humanity, and views nature as a profound spiritual presence. Nature as a moral guardian. In his maturity, the poet recognizes nature as the anchor of my purest thought. Nature as the anchor of my purest thought, the nurse, the guide, the guardian of my heart and soul, of all my moral beings. You have to learn these lines. Friends, you have to learn this quotation. The anchor of my purest thought, the nurse, the guide, the guardian of my heart and soul, of all my moral beings. Very important. Next, pantheism. Pantheism in this poem. The poem expresses a pantheistic view of the divine, describing a presence and a motion and a spirit that impels all thinking things and rolls through all things. Next, epistemology of perception. Epistemology of perception. Posits. Wordsworth posit. Wordsworth po- posits. Wordsworth posits that the mind and the senses half create the world they perceive, suggesting a collaborative relationship between human imagination and external reality. The living soul. The speaker describes a serene and blessed mood where the motion of our human blood, where the motion of our human blood almost suspended. We are led asleep in body and become a living soul. Very important line. We are laid asleep in body and become a living soul to see into the life of things. Restorative power of memory. Wordsworth asserts that the beauteous forms. Wordsworth asserts that the beauteous forms of nature provide a tranquil restoration during hours of weariness in towns and cities. Influence of Coleridge. The structure and mood of the poem were heavenly, influenced by Coleridge, Frost at Midnight, particularly the concluding blessing of a companion. Literary precursors. The poem evolved from the 18th century ico descriptive or local poem tradition like John Denham's Cooper's Hill and was influenced by the sonnet of William Leslie Bowles. Physical absence of the abbey. Despite the title, the ruins of Tintern Abbey are never actually mentioned. Wordsworth never mentioned the actual the, the ruins of Tintern Abbey are described within the text of the poem. Next, the why as a character. Wordsworth frequently addresses the river directly as O Sylvan Way, thou wanderer through and woods. O Sylvan Way, thou wanderer through the woods, turning to it in spirit during times of darkness. Next, spots of time. The poems focus on the restorative power of specific past moments, prefigures the concepts of spots of time, later developed in Wordsworth's autobiographical epic, The Prelude. New historicist critic. Modern critics like Marjorie Levinson argue that Wordsworth practiced selective blindness, suppressing the reality of industrial pollution and the wretched poor beggars who actually inhabited the ruins in 1798. The function of Dorothy. Dorothy serves as a vessel for the poet's past in her wild eyes. He recaptures the passion of his youth and hopes nature will be mentioned for her future memories. A gospel of romanticism. The poem is often considered the gospel according to Wordsworth, outlining the central romantic shift from neoclassical season to imaginative, intuitive engagement with the world. The concept of recompense. Wordsworth does not mourn the loss of his youthful raptures because he believes his mature philosophical insight is a abundant recompense for what time has taken away. Now we have to notice some important quotation from this poem. Famous lines are here. That blessed mood in which the burden of the mastery. Next, the sounding cataracts hunted me like a passion. Very important. You have to learn this sentence. The still sad music of humanity of all the mighty words. The still sad music of humanity of all the mighty words. We are laid asleep in body and become a living soul. Nature never did betray the head that loved her. Very important. Once you have to revision. That blessed mood in which the burden of the mastery, the sounding cataracts hunted me like a passion, the still sad music of humanity of all the mighty world. We are laid asleep in body and become a living soul. Nature never did betray the heart that loved her. Friends, like this video and subscribe my channel to get notification of my videos. Thanks for watching.